Hey guys, so I decided to start a YouTube channel. This video is gonna be, can you play Black Ops 6 for under $100? Really, the video is gonna be like the actual price of the computer is gonna be $103, but that's as close as I'm gonna get. Uh, I've tried to make it literally under $100 no matter what, like with tax and everything included, and I just can't. So, $103 for under $100 is gonna be the title because it makes for a better title. Deal with it. But anyway, yeah, let's get into kind of what I put together and kind of see, what we're thinking. So, let me jump over to that camera. So, here we go. So, this is a Dell Optiplex 7020. Sorry, this is photos taken from my phone because the account on my phone and the account on my computer is different for some stupid reason. I've tried switching it over and it just, for whatever reason, Google Chrome on my desktop does not like the idea of me signing in with my phone's information. Anyway, so this Dell Optiplex, it's a Dell Optiplex 7020 MT. They're very popular, very cheap on eBay. It's got an i5 4590 and 4 gigabytes of RAM. No storage. No, I want to say it has some RAM, but not really. So it boosts up from 3.3 gigahertz and all the way up to 3.7, I think. Yeah, and it's a 4-core, 4-thread, which ain't great, but we're trying to do this for under $100. So beggars can't be choosers. What is it? Windows Shift. No, what is it? Control Window? I forget. Windows Shift. No, Windows Tab. There we go. So if you go over to Windows Tab, yeah. So wait, no, that's the one I just said, isn't it? Or did I click the same one? Or no, yeah. So, total for that one, I paid $46.19. Not a crazy amount. But to be honest, it's a pretty good computer for what you pay. For graphics, I have a AMD FirePro W5100. It's not a gaming card, it's a workstation card, but it has 4 gigabytes of DDR5. The clocks on it ain't that great. It's like 900 megahertz. For reference, 1050 Ti, I believe, goes all the way up to 12 or 1300, somewhere in there, like 1300, somewhere in there. So it's like slightly weaker than a 1050 Ti. But to be fair, there is AMD FSR that'll probably carry it most of the way there. The idea for me with this video was to get a console that could play Black Ops 6 at 1080p 60 FPS. Because if you can do that, you basically beat last gen consoles, and you do it for under $100, which is the whole, obviously, premise of the video. Then for storage, it's not a lot. It's enough just to get the job done. Because Call of Duty, I believe, clocks in at just under 200 gigs. A copy of Windows is, I think, 8 or 9 gigs. I think. I'm going to try to do Windows 11 on it, but realistically, because, to keep it newer, and that way somebody buying it, because eventually I will sell this PC for profit. That's also part of the video. And I'll go over the numbers with you guys in just a second here. But the idea is to sell this PC for profit and see if I can do it, and just, in the long run, just continue to make profit with selling PCs on the internet. Or in person, if I can sell it locally, too. Okay, so the graphics card is finally here. Paid a total of $27 for a 4 gigabyte WX. Or no, not WX, I'm sorry. W5100 FirePro AMD graphics card. For those unfamiliar with the card, it is a card that has 4 gigabytes of GDDR5. There we go. Memory, not the best, and it only clocks in at about 900 megahertz, maybe a little more than that. For reference, that is slightly slower speeds, but the same amount of memory than a 1050 Ti, which I do have a 1050 Ti, but it's my first graphics card ever. I have that hidden away in a closet. I have no intention of using that for this video. But I wanted to prove you could make a graphics card or make a PC to play Black Ops 6 for under $100. Now the beta's still going, and I'm trying to get this video up before a Black Ops 6 beta ends, because I would like to do some gameplay footage on here so you guys can actually see it. Because that's the thing, I mean, if I play Modern Warfare on the 3 on this thing, there's a good chance it plays Black Ops 6. But I figured, wow, the beta's live, it'd be kind of cool to do like a general gameplay kind of thing. But obviously, got to get this taken care of to be able to do that. So, I want to give this PC, as well as this graphics card, really the best chance it's got. So, realistically, I think it would be very unfair for me not to repaste it, to do to basically do fresh thermal paste. I think with fresh thermal paste, this thing has a very, very good chance of doing it, and honestly, it probably needs it, to be fair. Yeah, because it's been an older card for sure, but to be honest, I mean realistically, crap, I lost a screw. Oh well, I doubt it matters. It just popped and exploded when I accidentally put my thumb on it. Let's see if I can find it, but I doubt it. Oh, I think I found it actually. Yep, I did. Sweet. I was lucky. Alright, so let's get this baby apart. Let's see what I'm looking at. Oh, there's one more screw. I totally missed it. Let's get this drink out of the way. Yeah, there we go. Ah. What the f... Okay, it should be fine, realistically. 2 of the screws, those are their own screws. Those are their own screws. I think I have all the screws actually. I think something hit something, but I don't know. Oh yeah, this thermal paste dry as hell. It's a good thing I'm replacing it. Actually, let me just use an old alcohol wipe, see what I can get off on its own while it's dry, because I don't really want to use an alcohol wipe if it's such a small surface area I'm going to have to wipe down. I clean a lot of computers, and that's why I have a bunch of these alcohol wipes, and they're used so they make pretty decent paper towels once they're dry. So I try to keep them. So anybody curious, that's kind of what we're working with. Not a lot, but and then I will be kind of doing recording of the gameplay itself, just so you guys can kind of get an idea as to what to expect. Gameplay wise and realistically just overall performance. So anybody curious, what I'm doing here is just repasting it with thermal paste to give it the best chance at cooling and overall performance as possible. And how I'm doing it, basically, for anybody curious what this is, it's literally just a PCIe bracket that I broke the actual connector that it connects to the actual case for, and then basically bent it at a 90 or close to a 90-degree angle to basically make it nice and flat. And then that way you can just do perfect repastings. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could, most people just do like a ball, and then that's kind of it. You know what I mean? Like, you just do like a ball of thermal paste, clamp it together, and then that's kind of the end of it. But to be honest, I don't know, I found that doing it this way actually really does have some benefit improvement, as long as you don't go crazy with it. Obviously, you don't want to do too much thermal paste. But realistically, I've never had a GPU fail or a CPU even. I do it on my CPU as well. Never had CPU fail or anything. So I honestly stand by this as much as it doesn't look great. Where, oh where? Is it this way? No. It's this way. Yep. Looks like some of the dried up thermal paste got on this thing. Okay. No, that can't be right. Okay, I'm at a loss as to what to do. Definitely not that way. I really should have taken a picture of this. Hold on, I think I've got a picture up somewhere. Okay, so according to this picture, that's supposed to go like that. Yep. But I'm struggling to figure out where the fan connector is, because the only fan connector I see is the one way the fuck over there, but I just don't see how that's supposed to connect. Headphones real quick. Let's see. Okay. So, how do I go about doing this? Because that's supposed to be there, because that's the only other connector that's right there. I know my webcam's kind of shit. I need an actual proper camera for this, but the only connector for a fan is right here. And the graphics card is supposed to go like this. So I don't know how I'm supposed to reach this tiny ass little cord all the way over there. I just don't see it. I mean, I guess I have no choice but to really try, but oh no, it's supposed to go right here. The freaking fan thing plug came out with it. That's what it is. Okay, so hopefully that still works. Otherwise, that's a whole other thing. I mean, it's just plastic, realistically, connecting pins, so it should be fine. But that's still kind of sus that's. I mean, it is. Okay, there we go. I mean, it is an older card, so I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. But that is kind of a pain in the ass, and something I did not foresee happening. Okay, so bigger screw over here. I'm just going to put as many of the screws as I can and kind of just hope for the best. Now, do I recommend anyone do this? Honest to God, I don't know. If you're fairly knowledgeable about all this, I'd say go for it. You've got nothing really to lose. This is a card that cost me $27. And overall, this is just a thing of like, you know, worst case scenario, you buy another one and you're still only $50 in. So I don't see any problem with you messing it up, and it turned out to not be such a good idea to open this thing up. Also, you should really test it to make sure it works before you open it up. Made that mistake just now. I just realized it. But honestly, I mean, eBay's got a pretty good return policy, and realistically, if the seller marks it as that it's fully operational, which most of them do if you buy it used, and it turns out to not be, and it's clearly highlighted in their description that it really does actually work,
you can usually just ask for a refund. It's usually not the end of the world. Now there's the moral compass type of thing, like, oh, do I really want to do that to a seller that sold me a perfectly working card and I just fucked it up? In a perfect world, I would say no. But realistically, we're losing $27. And so are you, I guess, technically. But I wouldn't say do it every time, but realistically, there's as you can tell, taking apart the card was pretty easy. Realistically, fucking this up, not likely. It really is kind of hard, actually, to fuck it up. Now I realize the screw I'm missing. It's the one here in the corner. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but realistically, I think that one's fucked. I knew when I heard that clank it was something. Oh, that's just plastic. Damn it. I mean, it's not like it really matters, to be honest. Because realistically, there's already 4 holding it in place. I doubt one less is really going to make that bigger difference. So I'm just going to put it on and kind of see what's up. If I find the screw, I'll put it on. Why not? But realistically, I don't think it's going to make the slightest bit of difference. Yeah, because I would say realistically with all these screws holding it in place, I think it's a safe bet. Once I finish putting this up and cleaning it a little, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to hop over to the other PC, and then I'm going to move the footage around, obviously, in the background, like, obviously in behind the scenes and everything. But basically, yeah, I'm going to hop over to the Black Ops PC, record some gameplay, assuming it runs. Admittedly, I'm not entirely sure if it'll run with outdated drivers, because admittedly this card hasn't exactly seen support for a while, but I can't imagine it just crashing. This game usually starts, even like somewhat more modern PCs, I've seen it actually start. So I can't imagine that this PC won't start the game. But that's going to be it for repairing the graphics, or repairing. Realistically, just, doing some maintenance on it. I'm going to do one wipe, a Clorox wipe, and just give her a nice little clean. Nothing fancy. Just a nice little cleaning. Clean the pins, and there we go. That's it. And then this I'll just put off to the side in case I need it for something else. In case I need to wipe something else down. That's going to be it. Catch you guys as soon as I'm up and running with the recording. Alrighty, guys. So I tried doing the Black Ops 6 beta with $100 up for a PC on the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. I tried doing the whole thing for $100. It didn't quite pan out. Yeah, I tried. I kept getting a DirectX error. Yeah, that didn't quite pan out. Unfortunately, no way to get around it. I wish I would have tried a better GPU, but you gotta keep in mind the budget we were on. Cause that's the thing. Normally, I would do graphics very first thing, and then, or see what I can get a PC for, assuming I can get something pretty close to an entire PC, right? First, then do a graphics card that's not gonna break the bank completely in terms of budget, and then from there just put together everything else, like the SSD, the power supply, that kind of crap. But the thing is, I was using what was it? HP Z710. For reference, that is sorry about that. For reference, that's a office PC that's got like a quad core in it. As you can tell via the specs, that's basically what we were working with. Unfortunately, kind of just what we could do. This is kind of the specs that we were working with.
an i5 4590, 3.3 gigahertz boosting all the way to 3.7, 4 core, 4 threads, 16 gigs of DDR3, an AMD W5100 with 4 gigabytes of GDDR5. Not horrible. The only problem is the clock speed's only 900 megahertz, like 930, I think I came up with, and it wouldn't let me boost it. I tried an MSI Afterburner to overclock it, and it wouldn't let me. A 256 gig SSD for the sake of speed, and then boot drive, obviously. But also, realistically, I wanted something that could actually run the game and not have it choke like a motherfucker. Because realistically, hard drives, they do. They make the game choke so freaking hard. But I wanted an SSD that would fit in the budget. Because after scouring I figured for VRAM, I would need at least 4 gigs of VRAM. There was no argument there. To even at least have a chance at running it. So I looked up VRAM 4 gigs cards, and honestly, this was the lowest price point I could reach that was still attainable between now and between, I would say, probably like 3 days ago and the beta launching, and then actually being active and still being on, so I could actually put the PC together and actually play the beta. Unfortunately, as you can see, we didn't. As you can tell by now, there's no footage of Black Ops 6 because I couldn't get it to run. I kept getting a DirectX 11, or I assume a DirectX 11, but realistically it was probably a DX12 error because the game probably runs in DX12 mode. Although, to be fair, I would assume DirectX 11 wouldn't be a problem because, one, the last gen consoles are running them in DX11, no doubt about that. But also, realistically, the 10 series cards for NVIDIA, they have to be running them in DX11 mode. There's no way they wouldn't be able to run DX12. Well, actually, I don't know about that. Maybe they can. I don't think they can, though. Maybe somebody who knows more about graphics cards and how they work can correct me, but I don't think the 10 series cards can do DX12, can they? So realistically, that's a no-go. So I figured, cards that can do DX11 at least can pretty much get it there. But anyway, but yeah, that didn't pan out. $28 for graphics cards, not great. I will admit, it gamed more than I thought it would. It did pretty good. It did decent. It did 720p, 30 FPS, and a lot of, and I say recent, but realistically, like games that were in the last like 5-10 years. But again, you're reaching 30 FPS, not 60 like COD. COD needs 60 at least to compete with last gen. 1080p, 60 FPS. That was the target. Even if I had to turn FSR on, I would have counted it. But anyway, so that didn't pan out because they wouldn't even run. Realistically though, I would have, if there had been a little bit more room in the budget. Like here, watch. Let me pull up a calculator. So for example, so we take our budget, right? 100 overall budget, 102 with 64 cents. Subtract the 27.95. With some patience and a little bit of digging, you could get an RX 580 that would definitely run the game. Maybe for like, I don't know, $40 to $50, but probably closer to the 50 realistically if you want to get in a decent time. So $125. So I would say realistically, maybe not for $100, but you could do Black Ops 6 for like with a PC like this for $125. Now the problem with that is also I didn't upgrade the power supply in this thing. This thing's running a very jank power supply because it's a proprietary Office PC, so it's proprietary power supply as well. So for the adapter to adapt the more current power supply, there's the adapter for the power supply. There's the power supply itself. So that's minimum of $40 for like a 450 watt, or 35 if you do some deal hunting. Yeah. So realistically, so plus the 50 for the graphics card. So realistically, you do another 40 for the power supply. And then the RX 580, so that we just added. So realistically, 165. So you could do this for like maybe $165, and you'd have something that could definitely do a little bit more.
But I think at $165, you could actually kind of build a custom PC that might be able to do it. But then again, I don't know. Because, see, the problem is, right, like the cheapest case you can get, like, for example, on Newegg, is like $40. And it's a pretty decent case. It comes, and if you do some hunting, you might even find one with 3 fans, 2 intake and 1 outtake, like 1 exhaust. So realistically, you could definitely do it for $40, with $40 for a case. But then you run into the potential of another $40 for power supply. So, and that's for a 450. So it's not much of an upgrade path there. As you're not limited per se. You have definitely quite a few options, but you are running with a 450 watt, so you have to keep that in mind. Then you have your motherboard, your CPU, you know what I mean? Like, it starts to add up. Suddenly that PC that will definitely kick this PC's ass completely costs like $300. And at that point, you're better off building something better because it's, well, $300. At that point, you're better off building a 4. But to be fair, that could be said about all PCs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you build like a 4, then, oh, why didn't you just spend $500? You would have been got something better. And then you're like, oh, man, well, if you're going to spend 5, you may as well spend 6. Then you start spiraling. So that's a no-go. So realistically, I would say 165 just to kind of dip your toe into the water and get something pretty damn good. I would say it's pretty worth it. Because 3.7 gigahertz is pretty good. That's not nothing to sneeze at. Even most modern GPUs. Don't get me wrong. The most modern CPUs can go up to like 5 gigahertz or so. But like honestly, most budget options, like mid-tier, low-tier CPUs nowadays, still go to like 3.5, 3.8, 4.0 gigahertz. So realistically, this is pretty close. I would say, yeah, realistically, I would have gone with this would be the setup I'd go for. The 165, the RX 580, better graphics card and an adapter, but with all the same stuff. Same processor, same gigs of RAM. With the upgrade, I'd probably just ditch the W5100. But I was trying to get this at a certain price point. Because can you build a PC for Black Ops 6 beta with $165? Just doesn't have the same ringtone as can you build one for $100. To be fair, I succeeded. I did build a PC for roughly just over $100. Problem is, it didn't do what I wanted it to do, which was play Black Ops 6. So realistically, I think we're gonna put this one in the bin and just call it. I think it's not gonna be. This one's not a winner, unfortunately. But that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to this video, and like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Let me know if you think you could have done something a build better, and how you think maybe it could be different, and some things maybe you would do the same, or maybe some things you would change. Oh yeah, and before I forget to mention, there are some bloopers if you hang in there after this little spiel, just because I kind of messed up the intro and I found it funny. So please enjoy these bloopers or outtakes, I guess, is whatever you want to call them, really. Hi guys. I decided to start a YouTube channel because why the hell not? I mean, you know, it seems like everybody's doing it, so what the hell, why not, right? So I decided to try to build a $100 YouTube video. Or, damn it, I fucked it already. You know what? I might include this at the end of the bloopers, because what the hell? Bloopers are kind of fun, right? So I'm gonna stop the bloopers there. Sorry. Hey guys, this is crap. I don't know if I want to use my real name. Okay, hold on. So the bloopers. Fuck me.